Hi guys, this is Ms.Hong. Today is April 1st, Wednesday. Yesterday you solved the radical equation graphically, right, using Desmos. And today we will get the solution without calculator. So you can just use scientific calculator, which means without graphing, right? But using math, we will solve it, okay? So first of all, I'm going to show you how it works. So getting solution, that means you're getting x value. In other words, you solve it for x, right? So you need to isolate x on one side, okay? So when you look at this, you have x and x, right? So you have 2x, so we need to combine those 2x together. So first, I'm gonna square each side, all right? So, because I want to get rid of this radical, all right? I want to get rid of this radical. So opposite operation of radical, square, right? So I want to square this too. Then on the next line, you get 30 minus x equals x squared, right? There is no square, but what did you get? You got quadratic equation, right? So we need to solve the quadratic equation, guys, to get x value. So to solve the quadratic, we need to make one side 0, right? So I'm going to do plus x minus 30 to cancel this 2. So on the other side, you do the same thing, plus x minus 30. All right? Then you will get, I'm going to write right side because this side is anyway, that's 0, right? So you get x squared plus x minus 30. That is 0, right? And then we need to solve this quadratic, but it looks like factorable. So I'm going to factor. But if you don't like to factor it, then you can just use quadratic formula. That doesn't matter, all right? So I got negative 30, right? So let's break it down, negative 30. So you see negative, that means we will subtract the number. We will find the difference, all right? And then I want to get positive 1, right? Positive 1. I want to get positive 1 by subtracting this 2 number, okay? So let's do it. 130, 2, 15, 3 and 10, 4 does not work, 5 and 6. And after you get 6 and 5, which is repeating. So I'm going to do it by here. And then let's think about it. What's the difference that has 1? And that is 5 and 6, right? So that's my number. And to get positive 1, where do you put your negative sign? I want to get positive 1. So you know that's positive 6 and negative 5, right? So that's my number, negative 5 and positive 6. So this one, you can factor that. X minus 5, x plus 6, like that, right? And then you need to get zeros from both. So from here you get 5, and from here you get negative 6, right? So we're done, right? We solved this radical equation, but we are not done yet. We have one more steps, all right? Because that's you know what, if you just solve it like this, then what's the difference between a radical equation and quadratic equation? There is something different, right? So let's see. So it says what? Both solutions work for the original equation. Because when it's a solution, you put it back, then that works, right? So we're checking that one. So let me check 5 first. So if x is equal to 5, right? Then my original equation is square root of 30 minus x equals x, right? That's my original. So you just put 5 into x. So square root of 30 minus 5 equals 5. So I'm checking, is this correct or not, right? So 30 minus 5, then you get 25, right? And what's square root of 25? That's 5, right? So square root of 25 is 5. So my left side is 5 and your right side is 5. So yes, that works. So this is my solution. right? And then let's check the other number, negative 6. All right, let's try negative 6. So when x is negative 6, right? When x is negative 6. So I will substitute negative 6 into x. So 30 right here. And you have minus. And this x is negative 6. So you put negative 6 for x. And x is negative 6. So you have negative 6, right? So that is what? Negative turn to positive. So you get square root of 36, right? What's square root of 36? That's 6. 6. And what did you get on the right side? Negative 6, right? They are not equal. So this is not my solution. So I know some of you will questioning about, oh, Ms.Hong, isn't that positive negative 6? Because you have radical, right? That is, guys, when you have x squared equals 36, when you have this, when you take square root for each side, right? Then you get positive negative. Then positive negative 6. So put it in, guys. X squared equals 36. You put 6 squared, that's 36. Negative 6 squared, that's 36. Positive 36, right? But this is different. You just have square root of 36 and you're simplifying that number. So you don't have positive negative. Alright? That's one thing. And the other thing. So you got different number anyway. So we cannot take this negative. We cannot take this negative 6. That is not my solution. Right? And before you get the result here, whenever you put the number and then on the other side of the radical, right? Other side of the radical, if you get negative number for that, then that's not possible. Okay? So that is not possible. So when you see this, there's no negative sign, square root of something, then you cannot make it negative, right? So whenever you get this, then that is not your solution. Alright? So look on the bottom. It says solution. Your actual solution, because when you solve the equation, right? When you solve the equation, you got 5 and negative 6, right? 5 and negative 6. But after we check the solution, actually, what's my solution? Only 5, right? So x equals 5. This is the only solution. And do you see this? Extraneous. So we read it extraneous solution. So that means fake. So when you solve it, right, you get it. Algebraically, you solve this, then you get this 2 value, but actually it's not. So that's negative 6. All right? So extraneous solution, that is not your solution, but we just call it negative 6. All right? Then you can just think about this. Oh, the extraneous solution is something that's not a solution. No. So you can, if you think about like, what about 1 then? Then 1 is not the solution to this equation. That is just not solution, nothing. Alright? Extraneous solution is kind of special. You get it from the solving algebraically, but that's not working at the end. That's extraneous. Something we need to cancel at the end. That's extraneous, not just random number. Alright? So, extraneous. So anytime you solve the radical equation, anytime you solve the radical equation, then at the end, you need to put it back. All the time. Always, you need to put it back, guys. Okay? And why do you get this? Look, when do you get extraneous solution? When? And why? Because this equation is actually radical, right? But we don't know how to solve it. So to make it easier, we square that. Right? We square that. So when you square the equation, then this thing, by this step, at this step, you get extraneous. Because we convert it to the quadratic. But actually this is not quadratic, that's radical. Right? That's why. And also, if I show you graphically, then if we graph this, then square root of 30 minus x, that looks like 30 here, and that looks like this. That's square root of 30 minus x, and then your x's the other side, right? This is your y2, so that's y is equal to x, right? Then you see it, you get only one solution, which is 5. And actually you're negative 5 because you know what? You square that. So when you're algebraically solving it, then we're making graph like this. You're making graph like this. When you square, then that means like that. So you're making the other side. So do you see this intersection over here? So you got negative 6 from that one. This is negative 6. But actually, this is not my graph, right? We have only upper part. So that's why you get extraneous. Because when you square each side and you solve it, then this one means you're solving this graph and that one, this one. But there's no other way to solve it algebraically, right? So any way to solve it, we need to square that. But when you square, you have chance to get extraneous like this, just like that. All right. So anytime what you solve it, square each side, get rid of your radical, and then whenever you get the solution, you have to put it back to the original one. This radical, you have to put it back, and you need to check it that works or not. If that works, that's your solution. If that does not work, you need to cancel that, then that's extraneous. Okay? Alright, so I'm gonna cut the video, and on the part 2, I'm gonna show like 2 more problems. Okay?